Hey there everyone, what's up? So, today we're doing something a little different. Um, a surprising number of people have asked me to comment on the Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem game that was announced recently for the Wii U. And I wasn't going to comment on it because there's not a whole lot to comment on. The trailer doesn't really reveal all that much, but I can do a kind of brief analysis on it and give you my thoughts on what I think it'll be like. So I guess I'll do that, and hopefully you guys will be interested in what I have to say about it, but yeah, I don't usually do this kind of stuff, so I made some notes over here, so if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes. But, okay, so what do we know? What do we know about this game so far? Very little. First, we know it's a game, it's on the Wii U, it's being co-developed by Atlas, and, what is it? Intelligent Systems. So, those two development companies, I guess, development houses, whatever. Atlas is a company, Intelligent Systems is not, but whatever. We've got two companies here. We've got Atlas, who has a lot of experience with the SMT series. Obviously, it's their series, but a lot of experience with dungeon crawlers. But they also have experience with strategy RPGs in the Majin Tensei series, the Rondo, which is kind of like a continuation of Majin Tensei, and Devil Survivor recently. But beyond that, we have Intelligent Systems, who are a development house inside of Nintendo. They're owned by Nintendo, they're in the Nintendo headquarters, they're a part of Nintendo. But Intelligent Systems, frankly, Intelligent Systems makes the only games I actually care about that are made by Nintendo. There's two series that I am actually interested in that Nintendo makes. Everything else I kind of don't care. But Intelligent System makes both those series. One of them is Fire Emblem. The other is Advance Wars. And Intelligent Systems actually makes the Mario RPG games. I mean, after the first one at least. They make Paper Mario, and they did the recent Paper Mario, but I don't really care about those games. What I like is Fire Emblem and Advance Wars. Both, in my opinion, the best series Nintendo has. And both of those are, made by Intelligent Systems, the co-developers of this game. So, what does that say about the game? Well, very little at this moment, but it depends on, mainly I think it'll depend on who's doing the main burden of the development. And even then, I don't think it's really going to change it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a strategy RPG. There's been no announcements. They've said it's going to be an RPG, but they haven't said what kind of RPG, and my guess is strategy RPG. And I'll give you my reasons later, but I'll add that at the end when I start speculating. What I'm doing right now is just analyzing what's in the trailer. So we have those two companies. We know it's for the Wii U. And the trailer is hardly a trailer. I mean, it doesn't show anything in the game. It just shows portraits of characters. There may or may not be in the game. I mean, the art style is completely different between the two, so they're possibly just, concept art. We don't really know. There's nothing actually like shown of the game, so we don't know anything about it. But we do know the characters that are shown. And it's interesting because I've seen other people talking about this game, like spazzing out about it, but like, they're obviously wrong, or they're just making stuff up. Like, as a general rule, you shouldn't trust anybody who can't pronounce the name of the game, and you shouldn't trust anybody who is just spazzing out, making up stuff that isn't in the trailer. But the idea is that this is Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. And I stress that because in the trailer, all of the characters shown are only characters from Shin Megami Tensei games. Not Persona games, not Devil Summoner, not Devil Survivor. None of those are shown in the video. Only characters from mainline Shin Megami Tensei games. So if you're expecting Persona characters to show up, if you're expecting Devil Summoner characters to show up, if you're expecting any type of, I mean, Devil Children to show up, it's probably not going to happen. Though, even then, if any of those side series were going to show up, I'd vote Devil Children because it's actually in Japan subtitled as a Shin Megami Tensei game. But we'll not get into that right now. I don't think those are going to show up. But I'm stressing this because I've heard a lot of people like saying, oh yeah, it's going to be great, Persona characters versus Fire Emblem. And, you know, I think they're wrong. Anybody who's saying that has no basis to say that. They're just making stuff up. I'm going strictly on what's in the trailer. And what's in the trailer for the Shin Megami Tensei side is, well, two main characters from each Megami Tensei game. So we've got, from the first game, the hero and heroine. They kind of have names. I wrote them down because I don't remember. They're only in the strategy guide. They're not in the actual game. They're just hero and heroine in the game. So their names are Kazuya and Yuka in the strategy guide. But those two are the first two characters shown. And then you have Hiroko and Aleph from SMT2. And those two should be interesting. Aleph especially is the most compelling character, I think, out of like probably all of them. But then we have the Demi-Fiend and Chiaki from the from SMT3 or Nocturne or Lucifer's Call, wherever you are. And then we have the two, the main hero and heroine from SMT4, which hasn't been released yet. So there's, you know, this game is not going to be up. It's not going to be out in 2013, is my guess, because, you know, there's no release date for SMT4 yet, and it's definitely going to come out after that. So who knows when it's going to come out? But that's all we know so far. Oh wait, I forgot two characters. There's the main character, the main male character, Hiro. He has no name, and Tamaki from Shin Megami Tensei If. So Tamaki is a special case because she does make a cameo appearance in Persona 2. So maybe that will be your only link to Persona, I think, in this game. I doubt there'll be any other characters because it's not connected to Shin Megami Tensei directly in the way that I think they're going for in this game. But we have almost nothing here for everything else related to Shin Megami Tensei, at least. There's nothing from Strange Journey, nothing from Shin Megami Tensei 9, which probably just because it's not popular, because that one is actually like smack dab in the middle of 1 and 2, so in the timeline of the games. So that one actually would make sense to be in there. I could understand Strange Journey because it's not happening in Japan where all the other ones are. But it would be nice to see those characters show up, especially because they seem to be crossing over into 4 in the trailers for 4. So anyway, that's pretty much all we know for the SMT side. And the Fire Emblem side is similar. I see everybody online is like screaming for Marth because it's the only character they know, because they've never played Fire Emblem, they've only played Smash Brothers. But I think anyone who played, you know, some Fire Emblem games are going to be excited for characters like Ike and Elincia and any of those, any of the more recent characters, I think, from the GameCube and Wii game. Ike especially is in both of those, but you have like Mikaya and Elincia also as your kind of main characters, and then you have Marth will be in there definitely, plus a bunch of other characters. The Fire Emblem side is hard in that trailer. It zips right by. I mean, it's really quick. If anybody knows all the characters and anyone can identify them, please tell me in the comments below, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't pick them all out. But yeah, I picked out maybe half of them, which is not really that good considering the amount of Fire Emblem games I've played. But you know, whatever. So what we'll do, that's pretty much it, I guess. That's all we know about the game so far. There's not that much. We know the characters, we know the companies that are developing it, and we know it's for the Wii U. What we don't know is what I want to speculate on, the type of game. And I think it's going to be a strategy RPG, but I'll give you my reasons why I think that. First, Intelligent Systems hasn't really done any full-on RPGs. And although Atlas has, I mean, there's not really much need to co-develop with Intelligent Systems if they're going to do a regular RPG. But also, beyond that, I'm not saying Intelligent Systems couldn't make a good RPG. I'm sure they can. I'm sure if this is going to be an RPG, I'm sure it'll be good. But I also think that because there's so many named characters, and I'm saying like the main characters from games, like because there's so many characters that people will be connected to in various levels of how much they like them, it'll be hard. It would be hard to have a normal RPG with like, you know, even 20 main characters. Like it's not going to happen. You're not going to have a party with 20 characters. It's not going to make for an interesting story for everybody, in that like people are going to be more connected to certain characters, and those characters aren't going to get enough time in your party if you're limited to a 5-person party in a regular kind of dungeon crawling RPG. So it might make for, you know, not exactly the kind of thing you'd want to cross over, in the sense that you wouldn't get to use who you want to use all the time, and they wouldn't be involved in the story like you'd want them to be. I'm not saying it's impossible. It worked fine for Lost Heroes, actually, so it's not impossible. But it's improbable, considering the pedigree for each company and the amount of characters that I'm expecting to be in the game. And I'm thinking that it'll be a strategy RPG in the way that Majin Tensei it was the strategy RPG. And I say that because Majin Tensei is very similar to Fire Emblem. The first game looks like Fire Emblem. It plays quite similar to Fire Emblem. And, you know, except it has a kind of demon summoning thing. And I think they could work that in. You can have each main character in your group, and each character could summon demons or units. And I say units for the Fire Emblem characters. So much like Devil Survivor, you could have your named unit, plus that unit has summons or helpers, if you will. So you could have your Demi-Fiend with 2 demon summons, and you could have Ike and 2 units, I guess. You could have Ike and a Pegasus soldier and a Myrmidon or something in your party, and they would be a single unit. You know, that way you could work, you know, 20 characters into a battle. You could have 20 characters on your side all at the same time, all using all of these iconic characters together, as well as in kind of incorporating the different aspects of each game. So you could have your demons, you could have your various units from Fire Emblem, and you could get them all working together on the same screen at the same time, versus many different types of enemies. So it makes sense to have it that way, only because it's a crossover, and the crossover works better if you can use more characters more of the time. It's my reasoning behind that. Now it could be a dungeon crawler, and it's possible. You could have a pool of characters that you select from. They'll auto level up with the other characters slightly behind, in the standard way that other dungeon crawlers do that with your backup characters. And you could select from the pool and have a party that works all together singly. But I think it's not going to be that, because it's not the kind of thing that these companies will specialize in. I mean, for Atlas it is, but it's not what Intelligent Systems works with. And although it is easier to tell a story, it's not as easy to work in all the characters. So I'm leaning more towards strategy RPG, which is something I can get behind. I would enjoy that. So let me check my notes and see if that's everything I wanted to talk about. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That covered all my bullet points. So that's basically my trailer analysis and possible expectations for Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. So hope you guys were interested in this, and obviously if you want more of these types of things, just hit me up and I'll probably get around to it. That's about it. So yeah, see you guys next time.